Yeah, so we are Colaborata, an artist matching tool that will facilitate international artist collaborations and make them more accessible. So for anybody who missed the people and platforms discussion yesterday, the singer-songwriter Estee Blue said that collaboration is a really important action that artists should consider when entering an international market that they're unfamiliar with. So even in the early stages, an artist can have fans from around the world, and many want to expand that fan base. However, they lack the organic connections or the knowledge of the cultural trends that they typically would have in their local market. So the problem that we want to solve is how can an artist find their perfect collaborator in an international market? Our solution is to match artists with the most compatible artists from the market that they aim to break into based on their relative size and sound. Over to you, Larry.
Thank you. To find the best artists to collaborate with, we start by asking our users to provide us with some details. As collaborations amongst artists of different genres is very common, we also ask for the target genre that they're looking to collaborate in. Armed with this information, we now narrow the matches down to relevant artists. Finally, we compute a compatibility score by assessing the likelihood of a successful collaboration. All right, that's enough talking. Let's see how Colaborata works with the live demo.
So welcome to Colaborata. I'm going to experiment with it by putting in my favorite artist from Nigeria called Thames. I'm going to aim big and imagine that she's going to collaborate with an electronic artist. The genre that best describes her from our list would be African pop. And let's make her career level mainstream now, since she's had a lot of recognition. And let's see if we can pair her with an artist based in the UK. And so based on all of these results, we get a nice long list of electronic artists from the UK that she could collaborate with, as well as their compatibility score on how well that they would sound. I'm going to pass it to Allan to talk about the methodology.
Yeah, thanks. So the website that you just saw, which is also called the front end, is a React application. From there, we send the user's information to a Flask backend, where we finally query data from Chartmetric, which we base our recommendations on. The backend is also where we calculate the compatibility score. For the compatibility score, we also use data from Luminate. Right now, we are using a statistical analysis to calculate the score, but we also started working on a machine learning model, which we didn't pursue further due to data limitations. Some of the key features that we base the score on would be genre, career stage, location, or fan base. And now I'll hand over to Trust, who will tell you for which purposes Colaborata can be used.
All right, so we always identify three major groups that can use Colaborata. The first group is A&R managers like myself, A&Rs that work in film, A&Rs that work in radio, A&Rs that work in different places can use this tool to find new sound, just one of the core functions of the A&R unit. And then also talent managers, artist managers can also use this tool to find new markets for the artists. So for example, in Nigeria, we have an artist called Faith. She's managed by Tumblr. Tumblr can use Colaborata to find new markets for the artists to be able to collaborate in. And then the last group is independent artists. Independent artists that are looking to reach other markets could also use this. So in Nigeria, we have the Asani. Asani is an R&B soul artist. He has major markets in the UK, France, and the Netherlands, but he has no international collaborations. If he's looking to cement his grounds in these markets that I mentioned earlier, Colaborata will be a perfect tool for him to use to identify possible collaborations in these regions. Rashmi is going to call out some of the challenges we face with this.
Yeah. So in the short time we ran into quite a few limitations. Initially, we defined a successful collaboration to simply be a song that contributed not only to an increase in streams for both artists, but also growth in social followers. But it's clearly a difficult question to answer quantifiably. Success can be subjective, and it can also be reliant on intangible factors like chemistry between musicians, different work styles, and changing market trends that are hard to calculate. Finally, in terms of our model, we did see data collection to be a big hurdle. Some factors such as personality or creativity are hard to measure, while others such as branding or fan base may be difficult to collect accurately. In the future, we think adding more features to the platform will add value by not only facilitating artist connection, but also helping to identify unexpected mutual connections. In order to monetize Colaborata, we believe an enhanced compatibility score would work well as a paid feature.
I'm very sorry. We are out of time.
That was right on time, actually.
Perfect timing. Excellent.
You can scan the QR code if you're interested in trying out the platform yourself.
Great. Any questions? So Bryce, you want to go first?
Yeah, thank you. So as new platforms emerge from an analytics standpoint, how agile is the product to pull in other numbers from other portals other than Chartmetric?
Hold on, Bryce. Sorry, that was a mistake on my part. Only the judges are allowed to ask questions. That was a mistake. I apologize for that. I apologize for that. Just to keep it clear, I'm gonna reset the timer for the judges to 3 minutes, and we'll start again. I apologize. Felix, do you want to go?
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious if you have tested the tool compared to real data, like if it could predict some pre-existing fits. Like, I don't know, there's a fit that you know that happens and it was crossing through different markets. So you pick the artist, pick the market, and maybe you get the actual artist with whom the fit was made. And the other question is, have you thought about learning somehow from the successful fits that are sharing different markets?
Yeah, sure. Maybe I can try to answer that. So regarding your first question, no, we did not try to like verify existing collaborations. The first reason for that is that for the matching system right now, it's mostly based on genre alone, which is, I think, not specific enough to like find certain artists. But of course, we like see that the collaborations like land in the same genre spectrum. So like they are in a similar area. We have to look at that. And remind me of your second question again. Oh yeah, if we we had also some problem with the training data because there was no existing data set for this. Like what we tried to do, first we looked at the top 50,000 US songs and filtered all collaborations from that. And then we tried to transpose it per artist and get like features for each artist. But we would have to build our own data set for that and query multiple APIs, including like Luminate, Chartmetric, whatsoever. And the API requests alone, I think in calculated time would have cost us like 6 or 7 hours. So we like scrapped the idea of like in favor of building like an actual prototype.
All right, let's take one more question. David?
If you took it further, how would you want the matching to work? How would you see it? What else would you like the matching to do was the first question. The second one was, does the platform actually facilitate the introduction to the other artist?
Second one is easy to answer. No, because we don't have contact data. What we can do is we can provide social data. So like you could reach out to them via DM. But that is like something that, of course, would be a great product to do so, to introduce artists to each other. Also, yeah, we want to, like, that's the thing that Rashmi talked about earlier, that we need more metadata to make out if a song is like a good collaboration or not, because this does not only include like streaming numbers, but also social following and so on. So we need like more data about like the fan base, for example, is where like audience could be interesting. Right. So in order to build the model, it's more complicated.